Good morning, I'm Diane Macedo. Thanks for streaming with us. In today's update, we start with some breaking news. The city of Louisville has agreed to a substantial financial settlement with the family of Briana Taylor. Taylor was fatally shot by police in her own apartment 6 months ago. We're still awaiting details on the settlement, but it's expected to be announced as early as this afternoon. Now, in addition to the payment, the deal is expected to include police reforms, including a requirement that commanders must approve all search warrants before they go to a judge. Now, Louisville police were serving a no-knock search warrant when they broke down Taylor's door. Her boyfriend says he didn't know who was pounding on the door and fired what he calls a warning shot. One officer was hit in the leg. Police returned fire, hitting Taylor and killing her. A grand jury is still deciding whether to file criminal charges against the 3 officers involved. Wildfires in the West have now killed at least 27 people as they burn across California, Oregon, and Washington state. The air quality in the western U.S. is now among the worst in the world. One San Francisco pulmonologist warns breathing outside without a mask would be like smoking 8 cigarettes. And this was the surreal scene at a doubleheader in Seattle between Mariners and the Oakland A's. Now, most of the players were wearing masks, trying to play through the smoke, but certainly a game like we've never seen. In better news from California, over the last 7 days, just 3.5% of COVID-19 tests in the state came back positive. That's the lowest rate since it started reporting these numbers back in March. And just a month ago, to give you an idea, the positive test rate was nearly twice as high. But there are still growing concerns over COVID-19, particularly on college campuses. Right now, 19 of the 25 biggest U.S. outbreaks are in communities with college students. Indiana University in Bloomington has quarantined 3/4 of the Greek houses on campus. The University of Wisconsin and Ohio State University have already canceled their spring break for this year. And we are monitoring what continues to happen on those campuses. Meanwhile, Jerry Harris, a breakout star from the Netflix documentary Cheer, is reportedly under FBI investigation. USA Today reports the investigation stems from allegations by teenage twin brothers claiming Harris sexually harassed them online and at cheer competitions. Amy Robach has more on that.
Jerry Harris, the 21-year-old from the popular Netflix docuseries Cheer, who became an instant fan favorite.
If you haven't watched Cheer on Netflix yet, you will see why everyone loves this guy.
Sharing his signature positive energy with Ellen.
Hey, Ellen, it's me, Jerry, from Netflix's Cheer. I'm here today as your correspondent, and I'm just so excited to be here.
On the Oscars red carpet.
Jerry, we want a laptop.
And even with Oprah. Is reportedly being investigated by the FBI for allegedly soliciting sex and explicit photos from minors. USA Today reporting FBI agents executing a search warrant at the star's Chicago area home following allegations made by 2 twin teenage brothers who described a pattern of harassment that started when they were 13 and continued for over a year. According to the USA Today report, an official at Varsity Brands, a cheerleading organization which used to employ Harris, wrote to police in August that it had learned of inappropriate sexual conduct allegations against Harris.
According to our interviews with the boys and to what has been reported to law enforcement, the interactions between Charlie and Sam and Jerry Harris started in late 2018 and it continued through earlier this year.
According to court documents now obtained by ABC News, Harris allegedly sent text attempting to make plaintiffs meet Harris in secluded locations at various competitions, like this one sent to the twins that read, "Hey, by the way, I found a place for us to do stuff. It's actually pretty good." That brother seeming to shrug off the alleged advancement, telling USA Today, "I just didn't want to make a deal out of anything at all."
Somebody needed to do something in order to prevent him from continuing to initiate these kinds of relationships with other boys.
According to USA Today, after finding some of the alleged explicit exchanges between Harris and one of her sons, the boy's mother reported Harris to the United States All-Star Federation, the governing body of all-star cheerleading, the Fort Worth Police Department, and the FBI.
We're going to be really looking at who knew what when.
Representatives for Harris said they categorically dispute the claims made against him, which are alleged to have occurred when he was a teenager, adding, "We are confident that when the investigation is completed, the true facts will be revealed."
And we should note Harris has not been charged with any crime. Again, his representatives are categorically disputing the claims against him. Amy Robach, thank you for that report. And now to the latest on Hurricane Sally. The storm is one of 7 tropical systems churning in the Atlantic right now, making this the most active tropical season to date ever recorded. Now, Sally's current taking aim at the Gulf Coast, and experts say it could bring, quote, extreme life-threatening flash flooding and storm surge. Earlier, I spoke with Mobile, Alabama Mayor Sandy Stimpson, where the outer bands of Sally are already being felt. Let's listen. We know that storm surge and extreme flash flooding are huge concerns. How are you preparing for that?
So we have emergency response people scattered all over the city, from MPD to fire rescue, high water rescue personnel. And so we're just ready. As we get the vent ramped up, then we'll be able to deploy them.
Do you find it's harder to prepare for a storm that threatens with flooding and with surge as opposed to with wind?
Well, it's not necessarily harder to prepare because we prepare for both. In the situation in Mobile, we are a tree with a lot of live oak trees. So when you have a slow-moving storm with a lot of rain, you're going to have a lot of tree damage with them being uprooted.
And I know your county has 2 storm shelters, but unlike usual, you're advising people to avoid evacuating to them because, of course, the coronavirus threat and crowding concerns. So what are some of the challenges that you're facing now in handling both a pandemic and a hurricane at the same time?
Well, thankfully, in our area, the pandemic is slowed down, and so we don't have a very high infection rate. But had we been in a situation where we did, it'd be very difficult because we don't have enough shelters to cover everybody if we had to separate people with the social distancing.
What do you want residents in your area to know right now?
So, the most important thing right now is to stay inside. Because of the flooding, the flash flooding, you get cut off from where you're trying to go, and then you put the rescue personnel at risk to come save you.
And we see it so many times, people trying to either get away or help somebody else, and they don't realize just how quickly these waters can come in, and then they themselves are trapped. How worried are you about those scenarios?
Well, we're fairly used to hurricanes, but you have new citizens that move in the area, and so there's always a challenge. But we have some highly qualified people that understand about water rescue, and so I feel good about it.
And what can people outside the storm zone do to help you right now?
Well, it's that they monitor what happens and what the extent of the damage is. Then there's always been an outpouring of support, to help various localities that have been hurt. And so we just hope that you'll look at the South Alabama and see where we are in a couple of days.
All right. Mayor Sandy Stimpson from Mobile, Alabama, we appreciate your time this morning. Wishing you a safe journey through this storm, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Diane.
We're going to move on to Walmart, which is taking aim at Amazon Prime, launching its own delivery membership program. Walmart Plus has a lot in common with Amazon Prime, but there are some big differences, including the price. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis has more on that.
This morning, Amazon Prime officially has a mega competitor with the launch of Walmart Plus. Walmart's new delivery service offers unlimited free delivery on more than 160,000 items, including groceries, plus in-store benefits like Scan and Go, which lets you scan items as you shop and check out with the Walmart app so there's no waiting in line, and discounts on fuel when you fill up your tank. At $98 a year or $12.95 a month, the new service is slightly cheaper than Amazon Prime, which costs $119 yearly or $12.99 monthly.
Amazon shouldn't be worried right now that Walmart Plus and that app is going to take over market share. But the growth rate of Walmart's e-commerce is moving at such a rapid rate, they should be scared for the near future.
But which service is better? Experts say it depends on what you want.
Walmart Plus may be more beneficial for you if you're someone that goes to Walmart for groceries. With Amazon Prime, you're going to be able to have access to their Amazon Prime Day and probably get discounts earlier than most.
Another key difference, if you love to stream, Prime Video comes obviously with Amazon Prime, not with Walmart Plus. But if you are a frequent driver and you're hitting the roads a lot, that 5-cent discount at participating gasoline stations will really come in handy if you're a Walmart Plus member. Keep in mind, Walmart Plus is not available everywhere in the country right now. You can go to walmart.com to see if you're in a location that is participating. Their long-term objective is to be nationwide. Diane?
All right, good tips, Rebecca. Thank you. And as families struggle to make virtual learning work this school year, some say young kids in particular are struggling to keep up. So what can parents do to keep the little ones engaged? Ariel Reshef went to the experts to find out.
These are pictures of frustration. Parents and kids trying to navigate the new world of virtual learning. This kindergartner clearly over it already.
He was just, kind of laying there moaning like, oh, this is so boring.
Many parents sharing their struggles as they try to get their young children to participate in online schooling. We turn to Dr. Dave Anderson, a clinical psychologist with the Child Mind Institute, to answer some of parents' biggest questions. First up, how to keep things interesting.
How do I keep my son engaged in the lesson?
The kid's going to look stressed, they're going to look bored, they may not be engaged. The key is to help them through that experience, to say, look, you're going to be in virtual learning for this period of time, and then let's figure out what you might be able to schedule in the rest of the day that might help to boost your mood.
Next, how much is too much when supporting your kids' remote learning?
How much are we expected to support our children physically by being present next to them during their lessons?
Try out at first is seeing how long the kid might stay engaged without parental oversight. And then you try to intervene as minimally as you can in keeping them engaged online.
And how should we set our own expectations?
So what should I expect my kindergartner to get out of virtual learning?
I have a 4-year-old, and so what I'm expecting in the case of virtual learning is I'm expecting that there might be some engagement with peers, an opportunity to be reminded what school rituals look like, as well as at least in some way awakening, a sense of learning and curiosity.
And when it comes to keeping your kids occupied, Dr. Anderson says, take the small moments as a win.
For many working parents, if they can get their kids occupied in those virtual learning lessons, that provides some, incredibly lucky kind of breath of fresh air for them to think even for a moment.
And as for concerns about too much screen time for your kids while they're virtual learning, doctors say not to stress about it, Diane. They say it's important for these kids to have that social interaction even through the screen, and it's important to have structure to their day, but you also have to balance it with giving them some time for exercise, some art, creative play, and other educational activities. Diane?
Screen time. I think those boundaries went out the window long ago. Somewhere back in March or April, screen time concerns went bye-bye. And that does it for this ABC News Live update. I'm Diane Macedo. Thanks for joining us. And remember, ABC News Live is here for you all day with the latest news, context, and analysis. Up next, a briefing in Alabama on Hurricane Sally. Thanks for spending your screen time with us. Stay safe, everyone.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.